welcome to my channel, Living in Victory. Today I'm going to do this Simplicity pattern 1153. I've had it sometime. I made a few bags, but we're doing Simplicity pattern number 1153, and I will be doing view or letter D, this bag right here. So when we'll be doing Simplicity 1153, and we're going to be doing bag letter D. So if you're interested in learning how to do this and how I do it in my bag, then please stay tuned to the rest of the tutorial. Okay, we are back and we're ready to do our bag. So we're going to do style D on our bag. Style D calls for us to cut two pieces out. It also calls for a a half-inch seam allowance, and I'm going to show how we're going to do that. So we're doing view D, and it calls for to cut out two pieces. I went ahead and I already cut out my two pieces of fabric. My first piece is referred to as the outer piece of our bag. I went ahead and I cut it just like the pattern. I add the notches just like the pattern, and it's going to help us when it comes to folding the bag. I did add a interfacing to the outer layer of the bag, and this is just to give our bag some stiffness, give it some stability while it's in our purse or while we're using it. Also, this is the outer layer of the bag. So when we put it together, you're not going to see the interfacing is going to be connected like this, and we're going to put our bag together. I will say that I end up using not a really stiff interfacing, but I use one that you can use for like buttonholes and shirts and stuff like that. And this right here is a bag that I made earlier. And it's the same pattern, and I use the same interfacing, and I like it because it's kind of squishy, but it also can kind of stand up on its own, and it also have stability. If I was doing it for say like a toiletry to put like body wash and stuff in it, and I probably would use like a fleece, some type of fleece or a stiffer interfacing. But since this right here is not going to use anything but for like lipstick and stuff, so I just put this in here because I like it because it's squishy and it can go in my purse and it won't take up a lot of space. Also, the pattern calls for a 12-inch zipper. When I went to Walmart, they did not have any 12-inch zippers in black. So what I did was I went ahead and I just got a 14-inch zipper, and then we're going to just cut it off where we need to, and it's going to fit just fine. So we're going to get to assembling our bag. Okay, so we have our bag together. If you are following along, the first one, it says press under ½ inch of the upper edge of the bag and the lining. So like I said on the pattern, it gives you a 1-inch seam allowance. So what I went ahead and did is the instruction says to fold under 1 inch. So what I did was I went ahead and I fold under 1 inch so you can have a clean edge, and once we finish the back, we'll see why they want you to do that. So what I did right here was I went ahead and I folded under. But instead of doing a basting stitch, I used some hem tape. And what the hem tape did was just make it stick together. And then that's way when I get ready and sew my zipper together, I don't have to worry about it sliding. And this right here edges, I did some of it. So I just folded under, I measured 1 inch. And I used some chalk just to measure the 1 inch. And as you can see right here, this is how I fold the lining as well as the top of the bag. I just folded under, and I didn't iron this all the way so you can see. And there go my hem tape right there. And what I'm going to do is just add some more hem tape to it, iron it, and then we'll get back to adding our zipper. Okay, so now we're ready to add our zipper. But before I get to the zipper, if you're looking at your, if you have the directions, in number 2, it says, with wrong sides together, pin bag to the lining using raw edge even. Having raw edge even. Base all raw edges together as shown. So right here, they want us to base stitch all the raw edges together. And I will say that on mine, I didn't do that. I didn't go in. So what they want you to do is like base stitch this area. But I'm not doing mine like that. So I have this the way I want it. And this is going to be the upper of the bag. And I'm going to have the lining side facing me. So this is my lining. Yeah, this is my lining right here. So my lining side is going to face me. My zipper is going to face up. And like I said, my zipper is too long, but I'm going to fix that at the end. I'm going to cut it. So with my lining side, this is my lining side facing me. And I use the same color on both. So what I have to do is kind of feel it just to see which side is thicker. So what I do is I'm going to lay my zipper facing up to me. I'm going to take the front of my zipper and just fit up the front of it or the end of it and just line it up like that. So, and like I said, we're going to cut this off because it's too big. So once again, I have the lining side facing me. I'm going to take my zipper facing up. I'm going to put my fabric on the end of this zipper right here. And I'm just going to sew it down using a zipper foot. And then when I get done with it, once it's finished, then it's going to flip up. And we're going to see how it looks. Okay, so I cut my zipper right here. And I went and I sewed my zipper on. And it goes like this. And I'm going to sew the other edge. But if you look under, this is why they had us to do the to tuck a 1/2 inch under. So when you look under the bag on the back side, you don't see like it looks nice and neat. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back to my sewing machine. I'm gonna fold this over and I'm gonna press it before I do it. And I'm gonna lay it like this so it can lay nice and flat. And I'm gonna do just a seam right across here just to secure it a little bit more and just to make our bag lay flat. And we'll be right back to get to the other side. Okay, so this is both sides of our the bag. The zipper is on. I did the stitching on the outside of it. As you see, we can zip it and we don't have to worry about the zipper getting caught. I went ahead and secured the end of the zipper just with a few passes or stitches from my sewing machine. So we're going to go in and we're going to turn it inside out. And this is the inside and outside. And if you did your basing stitches, then you can take them out. And they wanted you to do, I didn't do it on my bag, but they want you to do the basic stitches so you know your lining won't move around. But since I use the interfacing, it kind of keep it from doing a lot of moving. So this right here is the inside of my bag. And like I said, I like it because you don't have to worry about your fabric getting caught in your zipper. And when you fold it and sew it, and like I said, I use the hem tape so it won't slide, but it gives a nice clean edge on the inside. So now what we're going to do is we're going to connect our bag together. So the first thing that we're going to do is take our bag and we are going to sew this side of our bag together. So we're going to sew the bottom of our bag together and then we're going to connect the other side. Okay, so we have our bag. I sewed just the front side down. So what we do is, since we sewed this down, which is this end, I got to make sure that I mention that I sew it at a 3/8 seam allowance. So then we're going to, with our bag open, we're going to just open it up like this. We're going to take, let's see if we can get it right. We're going to take our bag and we're going to kind of like smush it like a sandwich. Like this. Just gonna put a couple pins in it just to secure it. And we're going to do the same thing on this end. We're going to open it up. And we're going to take it. And we are going to just kind of smush it like this. And we're going to pin it. We're going to pin it like that. So if we will open it up a little bit, it's going to just look like this. And then once we sew it and go down, you're going to see the shape that it has. Okay, so I sewed my pieces together. And as you can see, this is the result of the folding. And I'm going to do the other side, but this is the outside. So I'm going to just zip this back up and turn it back over. And I'm going to leave my zipper half open so I can get back in it, inside. So I'm just going to zip it halfway, just enough for me to get in it. So I'm going to do the same on this side. I'm going to take it, scrunch it together, and kind of place it just right there in the middle and make sure that my zipper is even. So I'm going to take it and I am going to fold, just kind of go to the edge right here. I'm going to like pin it, make sure everything is inside and everything is centered. And I'm just going to pin it in place. And when I get to the sewing machine, it's going to be, I'm going to straighten it up. We're just going to bend it and make sure that it's even. And when I get ready to sew it, I'm going to double check and make sure everything's even. I'm just doing this for the camera. So we're just pinning it. Then we're going to take this end like we did the other one. We're going to open it something like a sandwich. And we're just going to take it and smush it like this. Same thing on this side. We're just going to open it up like this. And we are just going to take it and smush it like this. And as you can see, that's kind of how it's going to be. I'm going to go to my sewing machine and we will be ready for the end result. So we have the rest in the other side of our bag sewed. What you can do is you can go on the inside, cut some of the your thread and just make it nice and neat. Some of the edges you can cut down to have it nice and neat. The last thing we do is just turn our bag on the right side, and we're going to just use our fingers or an object just to push up all the corners so it can lay nice and flat. And this is the end result of our bag. And like I said, the interfacing that we use kind of give it some stability. It can stand up on its own. And I will put the measurements that it is. And so I thank you all so much for tuning into my video. Please tune in, rate and subscribe for my videos so you can get the latest things and more DIY projects. Thank you.